Cool.
And that was fun.
Yeah.
Amy Young was our guest.
I saw your photos for that too.
And
I love Amy Young. Shout out to Amy.
Amy Young is great.
Magazine.
Yeah. Amy Young is great. And it was fun. We ended up actually barely talking about The Good Place. There were just a couple of topics that we hit, and it was a good conversation. They it'll be interesting to see if they do or what they do next year, because when we went, first of all, it was Fan Fusion was over by that point, so definitely things had quieted down, and there wasn't a lot of foot traffic.
Yeah.
But it's also like far enough off of the beaten path of Fan Fusion that I wonder kind of how much crossover there was. And so it was a pretty smallish audience, but it doesn't really matter. It was a good experience for us because Jason hadn't done a live show before.
Wow. Ever? Wow, that's surprising.
It's not super. I mean, he's a writer. He's not a. I don't know. Doesn't seem like a great public figure to me.
I had a live show on college radio back almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, no, he's always been a page guy. So
yeah,
it was a good experience for him. I did the whole first year of limited engagement live, and then
that's right.
Done all sorts of readings and things too. So I was pretty used to it. Did he
seem nervous or anything?
Yeah, he was pretty nervous.
Oh, but he pulled it off.
He pulled it off. Yeah, it was a good show. That'll come out soon.
Good.
So it was a good experience all around. It definitely, it felt like it was the sort of thing we could do as a feature at Fan Fusion. So I would like to submit some things earlier to do some of the live shows.
Did you hear any reviews about Fan Fusion? I totally missed it this year.
I didn't end up getting to go. There were a couple other things. Like I had a wedding to go to on the Saturday, which probably would have been the day that I would have gone if I was gonna go. And
right.
So this was actually the first year in about 5 or 6 years that I haven't gone.
Yeah, same.
And I don't know. There were some cool people there that would have been neat to see, like Jeff Goldblum and Billy D. Williams, and So there are a couple of things like that, but I'm also actually at this point where I'm really, especially in this small space, reevaluating the stuff I've accumulated, and I have like a whole box of these collectible things that I just have to get rid of. And
maybe you should have a table at Fan Fusion next year.
There we go.
Sell your stuff.
So down the street from here is the collector's marketplace, so I was thinking about taking them over there.
You could pretty much walk with a box.
Yeah,
maybe put it. Do you have a bike?
Much. I do not.
Oh
no, I should probably get one. I have a space to keep it and like lock it up and everything because I've got that whole gate.
I'm thinking of getting one
there.
so I can bike over here because you're kind of my neighbor now. It's silly to drive here.
Been on a bike in like it's got to be close to 20 years.
Really?
Yeah, because
I highly recommend
okay, so let's say 15 years because it's used to be my mode of transportation.
Yeah.
When I couldn't afford a car.
Yeah.
So I guess into my early 20s, I was using a bike all the time. So
I forgot how uncomfortable this chair is.
I don't get it. It's
other people like it.
I like it.
It might be
next time we can just swap seats. I'll sit there. Okay. I don't mind sitting there. I sit there all the time to play guitar.
It's possible that because I've been traveling so much, my body is like, fuck you, Jenna, for sitting in chairs so much all the time lately. Like I was in the car, almost 2 hours to Prescott and then 2 hours back the other day. And that was right after I got off the plane from Milan.
Yeah.
And that was 13 hours of flying. On top of that, there were a few hours of trains before that. Getting out to Italy was kind of crazy also, but...
Well, you were gone during this like weirdly nice weather that we had.
Oh,
here.
don't tell me!
Yeah, it was great. That. We had like 70s and 80s. It was pretty great. And
I thought I was escaping that for better weather.
I got it was kind of cool. I got to start running again for a little while.
That's good. Do you still get up super early for that?
No, I actually went after work because I get up super early for work because I do the 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. so that I can have the rest of my day free.
Smart.
And so it was actually cool enough in the middle of the afternoon to go after work. And
that's cool. My behaviors have shifted since I've traveled so much, and I get up early now. Well, early for me is 7, but
gotcha.
Still seems not 11, which is what I would be doing all summer if I was left to my own devices. But because of the the thing I did in Tuscany, topography of memory, Angela gets people up to go on these morning walks, but the walk starts at 7. So I had to try to get up at 6:30. So I made it to like 3 out of the whole week. And then some of the longer walks that started a little later, but whatever. But I was proud of myself. And then now I'm just in this cycle, and it might be because of the time zone difference, or it might just be, I don't know. It feels comfortable at 6 or 7 in the morning. So I sort of wake up and the sun's up, and then I am doing things. So I become more productive.
Gotcha.
Lately, the last few weeks. We'll see how long this lasts. But, and I don't get jet lag anymore. That's weird.
Huh.
That probably just means I travel a lot. Unless it's not caught up with me, but it's been 3 days. And I didn't get it on the way out there at all. I was just like, oh, I'm up and now we're doing stuff. And yeah, weird. Cool. I drank so much wine.
Oh, yeah. Well, Italy, right? So
I drank tons of wine and grappa and Aperol Spritz, and I brought back some little brandy from Spinocchia because they produce it there now. I didn't see any shows or hear a lot of music out there, but I did, like I said,
except for Bologna, right?
Oh, so, yeah. Well, yeah, and I didn't even catch the name of those DJs, but I could probably look it up. That was May the 24th.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and the name of the museum is Mambo, which is super cute, like Mambo Italian.
Oh, yeah.
However that song goes.
Mambo Italiano. Yeah.
The Museum of Arte Moderne, and then whatever the Bologna.
Yeah.
Cute.
But besides that, I don't know. Just random stuff, I guess.
Have you been to any shows?
Well, I think I was going to Campo Chimbita right after we finished the last recording. And
then I saw your post that you loved them, and they're awesome.
Absolutely fantastic. There's some, like, it's one of the wildest interviews that I've had. And, like, first of all, that was one of the first times that the entire band wanted to be there for the interview. So that was a new skill, trying to kind of wrangle these 4 pretty vibrant personality types. And it was great. Like, the lead singer, she just, when I was asking them about the some whatever politics might be in the band, and or what they were trying to say and so forth, and she writes the lyrics, and she just started speaking in Spanish, and then she paused and says, "Do you speak Spanish?" I said, "No, I don't," and she kept going. So
oh, well, that kind of tells you about the politics.
Yeah, and one of the guys tried to translate a little bit, but it was fun. I mean, it was just this funky interview, and at the end of it, the woman just spontaneously started singing, and it was one of them, like, just out of, from zero to singing, and it was one of the most beautiful things I'd ever heard.
Wow.
She has an incredible voice, and their live show is amazing. I've been recommending these guys to everybody.
What an interesting experience.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Not a very orthodox interview.
No, it wasn't. But it was fun. You know what? Right now, I don't know what it is, but I'm just finding I'm, generally speaking, not having a very orthodox time.
Yeah. Your life is...
but I'm enjoying
You're saying
it.
yes to things.
Yeah, I just... It's not even just that. It's also like... I don't know. I'm generally a worrier. It's just I always have been. I feel like I have to control everything, like I have to manage everything, and have like trouble therefore enjoying life.
Yeah.
And I just kind of
let that go.
Yeah, I just like fuck it.
Maybe you're growing out of it.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know I don't know what it is.
A lot of my Italy experience was about saying yes to things, because I was with Tanya Catan, and a lot of, she's a writer, and she does some funny stuff and interventions with these big corporations, but she's informed by her theater background, and a lot of it has to do with improv. So yes, and is a really good way to open doors. And sometimes when we were doing these exercises, I found myself thinking about that personally, because I've been trusting the universe a lot more lately to just sort of give me things and guide me to things.
Sure.
And a lot of it, like you're saying, is about letting go of control. I don't have to control every single situation.
No.
That's kind of the fun thing about travel too, because things will just happen. Like my flight back, the fucking Malpensa airport in Milan is a fucking labyrinth, and it's crazy. And it's like they're trying to punish you if you flew in on an American airline. For example, American Airlines, because they hide the ticket counter way in the back. You have to walk by a special extra police stand where they're standing behind a podium with glass just looking at you. Like there's just a little strippy window where the officer's eyes and you can walk around the podium and see his body, but that's how he decides to. It's like the panopticon. He's like looking out at these passengers trailing by, and I was like, oh shit, okay. I was trying to get to the ticket counter. I already had checked in and my ticket was digital, but I had a bottle of wine in my suitcase. So I was going to check this bag. And I get there and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I want to check the bag because there's a bottle of wine. And they're like, no. You have only an hour to get to your gate. I was like, yeah, I know I have like a full hour in my American brain. And they're like, no, this is an international flight. You should already be there. You have to go through security and you have to go through passport control. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? They're like, I'm like, well, what do you think I should do? They're like, what else do you have? Another flight at JFK. They're like, well, you shouldn't check this bag. You better just take it. Because I had only an hour layover in JFK again to get through customs, passport control, whatever. So I was like, oh shit, you're right. So I had to ditch my bottle of Chianti at the counter and just run. And they were right. The airport is a maze. Never fly in or out of Malpensa. That's my advice to Italian like people going to Italy. Don't do that because they run you through the whole damn place. Like I was sweating. I lost my sun hat somewhere in the airport. I didn't have time to turn back and look for it.
Wow.
I was one of the last 3 people to board the plane. And so that was crazy. But then I was sort of laughing at myself because if I had just gotten up a little earlier, you know what I mean? Like if I had just had I travel a lot. I brag about it. But I was like, wow, thanks universe. That was funny and scary. And thankfully I made all my connections on the whole trip, but whoa. Anyway, so travel will throw little nuggets at you like that.
Yeah. I need to do more traveling. We were talking about that this woman I'm seeing and myself. We just you're
hitting it off so well.
We really are.
You went to a wedding together? Are you guys going to travel together now?
We booked a little weekend in San Diego.
What?
In July. Yeah.
That's romantic.
Yeah.
And in July, you're going to want to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So it's almost like I'm just looking at things and like, okay, if I find myself saying in my head, I would never do something like that, then I would do it. Yeah,
it's the summer of Jared.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I almost forgot.
Yeah, that's right. That's how I've done a lot of stuff lately. And I mean, like I was telling you, at the wedding that we went to, and it's gonna be an interesting thing, right? Because I had a bunch of friends at that wedding, and there are some of them who didn't talk to me, and I'm assuming it's because, first of all, I haven't talked to a lot of people about I'm a pretty private person, so I haven't talked to a lot of people about what's been going on over the last several months.
Oh, and then you roll in with the new lady?
Yeah. So I guess I didn't think about that, but so that's on me.
I'm dealing with some of that kind of kickback as well.
It's, but I don't know. First of all, I talked about it on the podcast. So if unlimited engagement.
Your friends don't listen to your podcast. What?
I was going to say, if they did, then they would have been up on all of it. But
same here, friends.
Yeah. So anyway, that's on them. I'm putting it back on them. But I don't call, I don't write, I don't post on social media really about what's going on. Every once in a while I'll throw something out there, but it's usually kind of cryptic and I'm not very specific, and I don't know. If anybody wants to know what's going on with me, I always feel like they can ask.
Yeah.
And I'm at this stage, I'm pretty forthright. I don't really I don't really hold anything back. Good. If somebody asks me about it, but I'm not going to just volunteer random information. So then I was just like, yeah, whatever. And then, but one of my best friends was there, whom I've known for like 20 plus years at this point, or about that sounds about right. About 20 years or so. And, we hung out, he and his wife and me and this woman hung
Cool.
out. Yeah. And
double dating already.
yeah, it just, I don't know.